Oh my goodness, you are not seeing double. If you are watching us, what is going on? You are watching and, of course, listening to Tags Live, aka Talk About Gay Sex, the live edition, where we're here every Wednesday night on the Crowdcast platform. I mentioned you're not seeing double. You are seeing my co host, Kodi Maurice. How are you doing?
Hello, darling. I'm doing well. We're in sweaters. We're getting all cozy.
Yes.
Yes.
So if I didn't mention, I'm Steve V, your host here, and we are in studio. And yes, we are. It's cold outside,
It's cold
girl.
outside, girl.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah,
I
we're
am
not naked
wearing
today.
1111, and shout out to my friend Sebastian Lacaze. Sebastian is a friend to the show. He's been on the show before, and you can get this really. I love this sweatshirt. It's so comfy. When you go to the portal is you.com. The portal is you, and get I love this. Diego and I see 1111 all the time, and yeah, we love it. So shout out to that. Okay, we have so much to get into. We are in front of a live virtual audience today. I see some familiar faces. Hello, James. Also, hello, James. Hello, Diego. Hello, Doug. As you guys file in, keep those comments coming through. And we wanted to continue our episode 732, which I really loved what we were talking about because we were really talking about our former selves and what we're leaving behind sexually.
Yes.
We talked about outgrowing old versions of ourselves on that episode, sexually, emotionally, identity wise. But here's the real question that we're asking tonight is what happens after you change? Who do you become in your relationships once you do make those changes? In your sex life, who do you become? In your boundaries, do your boundaries even change? Because to us, growth isn't just a personal shift, it changes how you love, how you choose, and how you connect. So, if part one was what we just talked about, part two isn't about who we used to be, it's about who we are now, today, and what we're building from this point on. So, let's get into it. The grief, the relief, new rules, Kodi, perhaps, and what it really means to love as the evolved version of ourselves.
Wow.
That's a lot to unpack, but
It
we're going to
is. I
break
need a
it
sip of my
down.
wine.
Yeah, have a sip of your wine. If you're joining us, get that mocktail going. Here's a core question, though. Once you outgrow who you were, Kodi, how do you learn to love as who you are now? Because really did spend a lot of time on looking back, but let's dive into it a little bit on, we talk about evolving like it's exciting, and it is exciting.
It is.
Could be scary, but no one ever talks about the grief. And I think when we talk about the grief, it's what you're actually leaving behind, your former self. I mentioned on episode 732, looking at, because we've been excavating and getting rid of so many things in this apartment to make it our own as a husband couple, that I've come across so many pictures and looking at my former self. And I've taken a lot of pictures, and when you look at your former self, it's almost like a little goodbye in many ways. But what did you have to let go of when you grew, Kodi, if I had to put that out there?
That's a great question. And I think this is going to be really intense. But I feel like for me, I had to let go of a lot of that innocence, honestly. I feel like a big part of me, as far as evolving was realizing and seeing that things aren't as rose colored as I thought they were back in the day, back when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I think that just comes with age. I think everybody pretty much has to go through this. But I think for me, I've held on to a little bit of it, but like I feel like I'm a skeptical bitch sometimes, and that really scares me. Yeah. What about
Yeah.
you? What did you have to
Well,
let go of?
I had to let go of a lot of things, and more recently, I don't know if it's letting go, but I talked a lot about on episode 732 about when I was really involved in the BDSM culture,
Okay.
and I went for the New York Mr. Equal contest, and I got runner up, and I was immersed in BDSM culture, and I would work with a lot of Master Joshua and a lot of people in that community. And wouldn't say I'd let it go. I just think I still have a nod towards it, but it's not really my primary focus like
Okay.
it was, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And I mentioned on the last episode that we've been going through all of my leather, and I was just telling my sister yesterday, and she's like, "You could open a boutique, right?" And I said, "Pretty much I could. I'm giving away a lot of stuff."
I was like, wait, before you
Yeah,
open your
right.
boutique, can I get some choice items, please?
Yeah, so it's not so much like a goodbye as it's just who I was then, but it doesn't necessarily serve me as well. Although I will say, going through it with Diego, we looked at a bunch of this stuff and we're going to incorporate it, but it's going to be in a new way. So
So we're still going to Folsom this year.
we're still going to Folsom. Don't worry about it.
All right, that's all what I'm concerned about.
But here's another question, though. What part of your old sexual self still haunts you? If haunts
is a very heavy word right there. I was sexually that still haunts me. I feel like for me, sexually, I don't see any part that really haunts me. I really want to believe that sexuality, and my sexuality specifically, has been no, that's not true. Giving up my power in the bedroom. Yeah, that's what kind of like weighs on me, that really makes me feel like, oh, I should have realized this back in the day. And I kind of judge my old self for that, because I am much more powerful, especially in the bedroom, than I give myself credit for. So I feel like where are the tissues? Exactly. So I definitely judge myself for being more submissive when I knew in my heart of hearts that I was more dominant. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. And I think haunt is it's
a weighted word.
It's a weighted word. I don't know that I think I'm beyond that feeling of feeling haunted. I mean, I guess a better question would be, have you ever missed a version of yourself that you maybe outgrew? And if I had to answer that question, a lot of it had to do with those BDSM days where I really experimented a lot, and I tried some things with some really expert people in that community. I'm thinking of Master Joshua and him telling me about fire play and me going, what? And it literally sounds like what it is. You get on a massage table and he lights flames onto your body. I think he may put like an oil on your body to help so you don't burn.
I hope so.
But that through the fire and going through different parts of your body, particularly when you're turned like your nipples and other areas, you have an emotional reaction. And it was extremely cathartic for me. I remember crying at the end of it, but it was beautiful. I hugged him at the end of it. I also fist play, which I don't know that I'm really wanting to do that anytime soon again. But at one point I was really into fisting and exploring that side of what it was. But I worked with experts that knew what they were doing. They used plenty of the correct type of lubrication that you need to use for that. And I felt like I was literally and figuratively in good hands.
Well, yes.
But
yes, you
I
were.
don't know that I need to be doing that now on either end of it. I just think it was what I needed at that time. And I really went down that exploration of BDSM. And not to say that, I mean, Diego and I came across some paddles the other day that we put aside that were like, hey, do we want to like keep this aside for, and I think we will. Fisting is a whole nother thing. Fire play is a whole nother thing. Rope play, I wouldn't mind getting back into that.
Rope play is fun.
Yeah.
So I definitely, so for me, I recently ventured into the world of fisting. I haven't done it ever. And it's something that I was interested in, but I just never really explored it. And yeah, so me and this guy, we were hanging out and we were having some fun. And he was like, "Yeah, do this," and I was like, "Oh, okay." But I didn't know that. I guess I wasn't listening the entire time would talk about fisting on this show.
Yeah.
And there is a specific lube that you have to use in order to fist somebody.
There's a lube to use, and the thing that I really like about fisting, if we're to give it, is that it takes time. So if you're to do it correctly, you are not ramming up a fist up anybody's ass. And what it ultimately means is there's a lot of trust play and eye contact, and it's a session, if you will.
Yeah, this was
And
about an hour of me
yeah,
stretching them out
see,
with
and
my penis.
what I like about that is that it really does elongate the time frame between two people. And are people saying anything? Yeah, I think it elongates, if you will, quote unquote, for lack of a better word, a session, and it can be really intimate, and there's so much trust involved in it. And that's what I really enjoyed about it. I think when you talk about a lot of BDSM play in general, I think there's a lot of, ooh, I would never do that, or that's only for dominatrix, and just this play that is taboo. And it really isn't. Actually, it takes so much more time, and it takes so much more, like I said, trust in another person. And when you get there, it takes the 5 minute wham bam thank you ma'am into a long beautiful session of trust, and can be really amazing.
So it's funny that you bring that up, because trust is probably what I would miss from my old self. I was a very trusting person, especially like in sexual situations earlier on. Now I'm not as trusting. I have an issue with connecting with people immediately when it comes to sex. Sometimes I don't, a lot of times I don't come, because I don't trust people enough to have that type of, to let go enough for me to orgasm, which I think is really, it's holding me back a bit, but it's what I need in this moment for me to continue my growth.
I think if you're self-reflecting on where you're at now, and that's okay, because you're self-aware to know that that's where you're at right now.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that down the road, if you choose to have a more intimate partner, that you do get back to explosive comes
With my intimate partner, it
Yeah.
was every time like clockwork, and it was very good. And I'm not going to say that there's not anyone that I have issues that I don't have those issues with, because
Right.
there's like one or two guys that I hook up with that's on my roster that that I don't have those issues with. So it does happen, but I'm finding more and more, especially now that I'm wanting and craving like connected sex.
Yeah.
It's me coming is sometimes not in the cards. A lot of times not in the cards.
Well, keep those comments coming in, and feel you're reading them. So if
Yes.
there's something to say before I move on, let me know, hit me, or
Well,
wave a
James is saying that he wants to try electric play, and I asked him what is that, and I'm waiting for his response. You know what it is?
Yes.
Oh, girl, tell me all about it.
I want James to tell us and get on the show here. But the time I tried it, I was like, I do not need to be cabled up and electricity on
the
the
cable guy.
Yeah, there was a guy that was really into electric play, and in the spark of it all, I'm panicked about getting electrocuted all the time anyway. So this,
In real
yes, I am. Like, I hate all, like, I'm panicked. This incorporates a lot of that, and I was like, oh hell no. And I had this one guy that really was like, no, let's tie this to your balls. And I was like, yeah, it lasted a few minutes. I was like, but if you can get him to tell,
boo, you did fire play. You are brave.
I think, but see, I'm a Capricorn, and if you look at least fire is like, you can see it, it's created. Electrical is man-made, and I don't know, I just work more with the elements, and versus like, don't be plugging me in. No, I can't.
It's more artificial.
If there's more of a natural component to it, I'm still nervous about it, but well,
think of it like Storm in her Lightning.
Oh, okay, we're going there. I love Storm.
Yes,
Yes.
Nerd City over here.
Oh my God. Well, if we're to continue on this conversation, if we're redefining chemistry versus, say, something like safety, some of us mistake intensity for intimacy. What used to, if I was to just prompt you, what used to turn you on that now feels toxic? If you, I will say, if I had to answer that
Thank you.
question, certain things of, I've had things of language and the way people would talk to me if it was a dom sub situation. There's healthy versions of that for me, and then there's versions of it that look like they use race bait stuff, and
Yeah.
I've had people do that to me.
Really?
Oh yeah, in the past, in the
Okay.
in my 20s,
Yeah.
and utilize things like,
But did you think it was hot? So this is where I'm struggling. Did you think it was hot when, and like, no judgment?
I think I, at the time, I was confused by it, and it was more of an acting job
Yeah.
for me that I went along with. But
Yeah.
no, I didn't think it was hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what I'm struggling with. I'm struggling with something that maybe I thought was hot that I think is toxic now. And I don't think anything that I found hot back then, I think is toxic now. I think for me, like you, I was more complacent when it came to like microaggressions and being talked down to and all of those types of things. So I don't think that anything that I've let go of or that I found hot back in the day, I think is toxic now. I think is really me becoming less complacent with those things.
And then if we were to move to love, because this episode is really about looking at where we're at now, have your patterns in love changed? Well, I'll answer this question. I mean, I have a question for you. And I would say for me, personally, if the last episode was looking at where we were, has my patterns of love changed? And yes, I am now in a monogamous married relationship,
Yeah.
and it has changed, and I live together. I've never lived with somebody in my entire life, and we are approaching a
Really?
year. Never. And we are approaching a year, and there's been some ups and downs, but we are making it work, and I'm loving it. I love where I'm at in my life right now. I don't think I would have been ready at all in my 40s and younger. And but yeah, it's a reformulation, but I'm enjoying it in so many ways. And yes, I think what's more important to me now is connecting with my husband on every level, and that includes sex too. And so finding ways that we can be connected in sex has become more important to me on so many levels. And I love that because I think that's necessary for us right now. And it comes at a good time for myself. But we still like talk about who we think is hot and what, we go to the New York Eagle and
I'm
we
too
go to
jealous for that.
who we think is hot at all. That doesn't bother me at all.
No?
We've dabbled in playing together, and it's worked and it hasn't worked.
Mhm.
And that's why we recently decided to close the relationship up,
Yeah.
because it was not suiting us. And I think we need to focus more on ourselves right now. That doesn't mean that down the road we will revisit this again. But yeah, we're still in our first year of marriage, and it comes with a lot of, you try this, it doesn't work, and you just go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
And
No, I
yeah,
hear that. So for me, I feel like me love like just completely changes your whole body chemistry. I feel like
yeah.
I feel like for me, I don't think I ever been in love like I was in love in my last relationship. So I feel like for in that relationship, I learned that I am able to tolerate a lot more than I thought that I was able to be able to tolerate. And I think that that comes from experiencing like genuine love and like forgiveness. So I think that that is what I have gotten from actually being in love. Girl,
Oh,
I told you I need the tissues.
as as we approach Valentine's Day, I love that. That is really good. Oh my gosh. A couple more, and
Let's
then we
go.
move on. Let's just finish up with like our if the last episode was where we were, where are we now? Sexual power without performance. What does sex feel like when it's no longer about validation? Because for many of us, when we were younger, it was about that. What does empowered sex look like now?
For me,
Yeah.
I mean, right now, sex is kind of about validation for me, honestly, because after you come out of a relationship, you have to rebuild yourself.
Yeah.
So I feel like for me, it kind of is about that. But before, it was just like a very connecting experience, and I really enjoyed that about the sex that I was having in my relationship. What about you?
Yeah, and if on the same lines, if we were to ask the same question, what does hot feel like when you're fully present along the same lines of that? For me, hot now feels like when I can connect with Diego in bed
Hmm.
and we're fully aligned
Yeah.
and we experience sex that makes us both happy. That really is where I'm at right now. And fortunately, we're both versatile. And for years, I've talked to, if you listen to this show, you'll know that for years and years, I was forever a bottom, but I've embraced my topness. And he has been a top for so many years, but he's embraced his bottomness. And we now have that luxury to look at that and then, but more importantly, kind of connect. It's almost like that portion comes along after. It's like, where are we now? And when we really are connected and when we really do have connected sex, it's very special. And that's what I want to continue to work on.
Yeah, super hot.
And it's just different. That's what hotness can look like now, at least at this very moment, especially as newlyweds.
Well, for me, hotness is looking like right now just 6 random mouths on my penis in the
Okay.
dark room. So that's what I'll be doing later on tonight.
I love it. Oh my goodness. Keep the comments coming through and where you are at. We love these discussions because we took this from the last episode and we're just carrying it over into where we're at today. And I really like when we do this because I think it's really important and it keeps it flowing.
Definitely. We love a good discussion here. And you know what? We love being vulnerable too. So, I mean, just stock up on the tissues, boo. Okay.
But for now, it's time to get into hot topics. We'll keep the conversation going over on our Tags Patreon community. And I think that's where I love it because you guys can continue to weigh in on things. Go to patreon.com/tags podcast. And now it's time to get into hot topics. Well, we had to start with Grindr. Would you pay $350 per month for a subscription of Grindr, Kodi?
No, I wouldn't pay $350 for a subscription to
anything. Yeah.
Gold delivery.
Well, right now, Grindr's much hyped AI product is finally here, and it is not a cheap date. The company is trying to shed its longtime identity as a hookup app and is testing its quote unquote edge, a new premium tier. In recent years, the company has faced criticism from users for so many reasons. It's so expensive and you don't get anything for the free accounts. Grindr's most expensive tier with unlimited costs between $27.99 and $44.99 per month. Well, Edge, which has just arrived, is much, much more. On social media, people were having a field day, posting screenshots of offers to sign up for Edge. The fee is $349.99 per month. Yeah, you heard me right. $350 a month for Grindr, posted a concerned scroller. Edge is your level up. And I think they're really, remember when they talked about Kodi, they're incorporating AI. AI is your new wingman on the upcoming Grindr. They're trying to get away from endless scrolling and actually pairing you up with somebody. I know this a little bit because my app.
Paired up on Grindr all the time.
Yeah, I mean, there is something to be said about really focusing on you and finding you that perfect person for now.
For now. I bet you're
For
gonna
But for years, Grindr CEO George Arison has talked about the company's efforts to build the world's first AI wingman. And he's dating is the gay world. If dating in the gay world is complicated by lack of density, he told Wire magazine. If we could give you a lot more rich data about somebody else, obviously with their consent, that told you why it made sense for you to be talking to somebody, and we did that with another person, you might be much more willing to open a conversation. Kodi, I ask you, are you
Yes.
going to be signing up for Edge? And at these prices, in this climate,
In this climate,
we're bringing back that.
in this economy, I don't
Yeah.
think so. I think I need to be saving my coins. I can go to the Eagle and have my own connections. I can go to plenty of different places.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay on this. Grinder is for one thing. I think they're trying to make it into something that is not even really. That I did meet my ex on Grinder, so it could be used for so many different things. But I think they're trying to steer it to something that is not originally built for, which maybe they should build a completely different app for something like this. And that's more of a connecting and dating app that they can have a wingman there for. Maybe they want to be a dating coach as
Which is
opposed
what
to
mine does at not
exactly.
that price.
Exactly. So I think that you should get in on this and tell them that they can
Yeah.
invest in you instead of trying to get people to spend $350 on this.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good time to talk about my app really quickly. It's called Connect and Confidence, and it really gives you the tools, coaching tools. And I worked really hard on it with studio.com to create this, to find the tools to get you out there, to find real life dating matches, and to find the confidence to not only find dating matches, but to find real connections, however that looks for you. And right now, to use my little plug right now, um, it's like a Valentine's special. You can get 20% off. And it's now, when this drops on Thursday, February 5th through the 17th, it's kind of a Valentine promo. You can go to studio.com/Steve V /connect and get 20% off. And it does give you those tools that will connect, and it's not at $350 per month, and you're getting 20% off. But I love what I know.
How many hot dogs I can get for $350?
I love what Marty said about the new Grinder and all of these. Said Grinder, Scruff, and Sniffies all becoming nearly unusable if you don't pay. The true homosexual experience of picking up a stranger in public with nothing more than a glance and a smirk is the only way. It's what our ancestors would have wanted. And that is what, to quote Marty _milkman, is what my app does too. It really gets you out there. And you mentioned it, Kodi, that you can go to the Eagle. It doesn't have to be the Eagle, but it could be just get out there and meet people in real life. Or do you believe what the CEO of Grindr is saying, that they want to become the gay ethosphere, where that's how we ultimately meet people from here on out?
No, people. I believe that there's multiple ways to meet people. I think that you can meet people on an app, not for $350. Who needs an AI wingman when you have, you know what? Go out there and just relate to other people. I think that's the most genuine way to do it, because that's how you really get to find out what the true, what people are actually made of. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole initiative that has been happening for straight men for a long time, that we really need to get back out there to mingle, to talk, to meet people. And I love that. And that's what my app does. But if you want to spend your coin on that, go ahead. What are people saying before we move on?
Give me $350. So
yeah.
So Doug says, I have far better things to spend $350 on.
Car.
And he says, like swings and some fun toys. I was going to Doug's house. Let's.
Yes.
So yes, Doug. All right, invite me over, and thank you very much for your comment.
Okay, moving on. More than 16,000 Floridians are set to lose access to HIV meds next month if this goes into. And what's really happening is thousands of Floridians are poised to lose access to HIV/AIDS treatment when the state's new eligibility restrictions take effect next month, with state officials blaming the move on funding cuts by the Trump administration. Currently, the Florida AIDS Drug Assistant Program covers the cost of HIV/AIDS medicine for residents who make 400% or less of the federal poverty level. That upper limit will shrink to just 130% of the FPL as of March 1st, and the State Department of Health announced on January 8th, giving patients less than 2 months to prepare. This is really serious because it a lot of these funding programs, and we all know that health insurance plans and plans like Mr. It's in the benefit to have medicines that are preventative for HIV, or that if you are currently living with HIV at a lower premium cost to consumers than if you raise those costs, because what it would do to, if we have people getting HIV back to the 80s like it was, it's going to be far more detrimental to the health system than providing people with access to these medications that are saving lives, keeping HIV at bay, and prevented, like things like PrEP. And it just makes sense that Florida would be the first to, under the Trump administration, to raise these costs. What do you say to this?
No, I think it's a tragedy. And I think that this is just like one of the first steps in how things are going to probably degrade. And I just need everybody to be cognizant of this. And I need for them to actually be aware of what's going on and make these plans so that we don't regress back to the 80s when this was a epidemic. Right now, like HIV is categorized in the same category as like diabetes and things that are manageable. But if we went back to those times, like it was really, really tragic. So people were passing left and right. So I can't imagine. So yeah, it's really sad.
Yeah. And things like PrEP too are only going to, healthcare systems are getting rid of it. Watching us live right now says, Adrian, I work in healthcare and a lot of my patients have already lost coverage and access to HIV medication. Wow. Curious, Adrian, what city do you live in? Because I would be curious to know where that is happening.
Me too.
Yeah, because that's scary. And so, yeah.
Just let us know.
Let us know. Keep an eye on that. Okay. New data. Was all over my feeds, is showing that gay and bisexual people have shorter life expectancies than straight people. I read this whole national stats, Kodi. I looked at it all. The results of it didn't really point to too much, but what it did say was it marks the first time that Office for National Stats has estimated the life expectancy by sexual orientation for this was for England and Wales, following orientation being included in the national census in 2021. Read that our community has a shorter, not much by much. There wasn't a whole lot to this story, but it was everywhere, I swear. What would be your first thoughts on why would our communities have a shorter life expectancy?
Girl, because the stress of being gay and having to come out and being judged for your sexuality and who you are intrinsically, that's a lot. So the suicide rate for LGBTQ plus youth is much higher than it is for straight people. So I can see how stress is a very weighing factor as far as like a lifespan and what it does to your body. So of course this is going to happen because the streets are out here giving us hell for being ourselves.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think again, this study did not have a whole lot of backing behind it, but I think you're right. I mean, with and then you pull in the trans community that
Yeah.
has zero support, and of course that it's just like a whole thing. We did find out from our last story that Adrian is in New York, correct? And
Yes.
that's crazy.
I know, right? I asked him if he's in New York City. He responded with people keep saying in his area that premiums will not jump and it will be manageable, but they are lying. The cuts are hitting hospitals like a rock. He lives in Elmira, New York.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's still way too close. Because, like you said earlier, Florida, I feel like,
Yeah.
that would be one of the places that you would think of that it would affect first. They're a very Republican state, but New York City, generally speaking, is more blue. So it's very alarming to me. So again, everybody keep their ears and eyes open for this and things of this nature.
Absolutely. Moving on. So recently on several podcasts, everyone's asking the question whether you're gay or straight, are you considering having children? Well, it all started this week when on Jason Bateman came under fire. You know, Jason Bateman, who I normally love, has the Smartless podcast, and he hosts it with himself, Will Arnett, and Sean Hayes.
It's so random. Where did Sean Hayes come from in this? I could see him and Will Arnett getting along.
I think they're all friends, and they started it in the pandemic. And the whole point of the Smartless was that they didn't prepare so much, and it started in the pandemic. Well, they really didn't prepare when they were interviewing recently Charlie XCX for she has a new movie coming out, but about her tour, and I really like her a lot. She's like, I think she's sassy and she's out there,
Yeah,
and
she seems smart, and she's out there telling people the good things about the world, and like as far as like fighting for the fight and the gay community, and all the minorities out there.
Well, recently on one of their episodes, they asked the question about, "Are you going to have children?" And Charlie XCX, she said, I don't feel like I'm ready. I'm paraphrasing, but she basically said, because I watched a couple interviews on this, she basically said, "No, I'm not really ready for children right now," she said. And she says, when you have to think about if the most exciting part that I can think about having kids is thinking about what I'm going to name the kid, then I have to ask myself, I'm probably not ready for children if that's the most exciting thing I can come up with right now. And I think that's really honest.
Yeah.
And in which case, Sean Hayes said, oh, he kind of pressed her a little bit, Sean Hayes, as a gay man, but then said, yeah, but then heard himself as he was pressing her, and then said, yeah, I asked myself too, and I don't want kids either, which he doesn't have. And then Jason Bateman, who's also on the podcast, who has 2 children with his wife, didn't let down. And he pressed her and basically said, oh, well, maybe you just haven't met the right man. And when you meet the right man, he used the example, when I was dating my wife early on, she didn't want to have kids. And then after my second date, she said, you know what? I could have kids with this man. And now they have 2 kids, in which case Charlie said, oh, well, I'm already married. And he was like, oh,
the best comeback ever.
I should read a newspaper to find out who I'm interviewing. And she said, no, I just wanted you to go down this path. But it does go.
She called him out.
She did kind of call him out, but in a funny way. But still, it does bring up that whole concept that everybody thinks everybody. If we were to move on to a recent interview of gays, Luke Evans, who his partner is Fran Tomas, Spaniard. Luke is English, and they have been together for a couple years. They have an underwear line that's really hot and sexy, and they were on a recent podcast as well and asked about the same question. Luke has been quoted as saying, having a dog has sort of removed the idea of children completely from me, and I get that. And Fran said he's open to it, but that I don't know. They're not really into it right now. What do you think about this pressure? Because there are those gays out there that it's all about having the kids and they make everybody know about it. Can you tell them a little bit around those kind of people? It's like, we get it. You're gay and you have kids. But I just think it's a choice. Not everybody wants to have kids, and it's okay.
Yeah, no. I thought honestly, by this time in my life, I would have kids personally because I love kids, and naming the kid is not the most important thing to me. It's being able to hold the little baby and love them and watch them grow and teach them things. That's the most exciting part to me as far as like having a child. I'm basically helped raise my nephew when he was very, very young. And it was just so fulfilling to me. So I get the baby mania that goes on with some people, like not Charlie XCX.
I love her, by the way.
I love her too. She's
No,
great.
I love her because she spoke her truth.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not one of those people that believes that everybody should have kids. No. I think that some people are not, they don't want kids. They're not capable of having kids. And to each their own. Everybody is different at the end of the day. So I'm glad that she actually spoke up and said what her truth actually was, and that she spoke for all the women out there, because a lot of pressure is being put on women as far as having children and raising children is concerned. She spoke up for them and said that no, we are not a monolith. We all don't want kids.
Yeah. And here's where I know you probably weren't expecting me to go, where I changed my mind more recently when my first boyfriend ever that came to my wedding, that's still close to me, chose to have a surrogate baby on his own. And I feel like I'm an uncle now. He didn't have it with a partner because he felt like he had to have it with a partner, and he had to look a certain way, and he had to have a baby reveal and make everybody look at the baby pictures, which I find, I'm sorry, I don't like that. Like, I don't want to look at your baby pictures. I don't. I'm not that. I don't. I do not want to look. My friend that he did this because he wanted to do it and it felt so authentic. And when we chose to meet up with his son, it's now I'm a gunkle now, but it just happened so much more organically than what I see happening out there. And kudos to everybody else that wants to do it their way. I just think stop slamming that and down everybody else's throat.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And I think that you are 100% correct. For some people, kids are an accessory. Just like a dog could be an accessory, kids can be an accessory.
We get it. You had kids. Good for you.
But I mean, I feel like when it comes from a genuine place, and I'm sorry, you're gonna have to look at my baby's pictures. Okay, you're my best friend.
I will. Well, no, I'm telling you, my friend's son, I bought Christmas presents for him. Oh my God, and he's so special. But it just didn't happen the way I've seen it happen. And maybe it's just the way people go about things. I don't know.
So it makes me rethink the whole, like, because in my mind, I feel like I have to have a partner in order to raise a child, just because
you don't.
You don't, but I think I need to kind of wrap my head around that, because for me, I feel like it does take a village, but who's to say that you're not my village, that my mom is not my village, and my sister is not my village? So
if I lived in San Francisco, I would be babysitting my friend's child all the time. So yeah, like Bella. Bella is the dog that we dog sit here all the time, and I have pretty much adopted her in many ways against my husband's plan. But yeah, so I could do the same thing with a child too. So, oh my gosh, I think we have. Was there one more, or was it time to advice? Yes. And we love it when you write into us, because we are here for you. Sex relationship advice. Thanks, JD, for writing into us recently. And JD wrote into us. Oh my God. Yeah, it's just a little. Okay.
Okay. So JD says, I wanted to start off with thanking Tags for sharing the abundance of love, joy, and resiliency that has comforted me every time I hear an episode since 2023. So long time listener. Thanks, boo. They're 32 and recently diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, MS, leading to vision loss. They had a relationship with an ex-boyfriend that was also their first romantic relationship for 2.5 years. They broke up 7 months ago. They say that their boyfriend loves them and will always be there for them and wants to remain as best friends, but they have broken up. Uh, JD wants to know, is he the asshole for wanting to disconnect and not wanting to be friends? The ex-boyfriend never wished them ill intent. However, they feel as if they couldn't handle, JD feels like the ex-boyfriend couldn't handle the diagnosis. JD doesn't have an urge to seek a relationship, but seeks for a relationship with themselves in order to work on their health. What do you think, Steve? What do you say about what advice can you give to JD?
Well, first off, JD, thanks for writing in. And I saw this as we were prepping the show, and I got the email, and I was like, oh, I love this. So thank you for being a listener since 2023. We love that. Number two is I love that you are seeking health on your own terms now and seeking, and you quoted our show, you want to continue having hot gay sex on your own terms. I think when you break up with somebody and you move on, if your reasoning is you get to have any reasoning you want, but you told us in this message that you want to focus on yourself, your health, and continue to having hot gay sex on your own. You should just go down that path and politely, if this person continues to want to be in your life, say, listen, I need space and time. You don't necessarily have to tell them that you don't believe them on why they broke up with you. You can, if that's how you really feel, that's valid. And I say that's valid enough reason. You sound healthy enough that you are choosing to move on regardless on your own in healthy terms, and again wanting to have hot gay sex on your own terms and work on your health at the same time. So I say you don't owe him an explanation on this, but you do not need to, you need that space. And if you ever come back to being close with him, that's on your terms, but you don't owe him that at all. Simply, it's your option to move on. And if that's what's healthy for you, do so.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. JD, the first person that you owe anything to is yourself. So if you feel like you need to take the time to heal from that previous relationship, to take your own journey as far as health is concerned, because this is a very serious diagnosis. My aunt had multiple sclerosis before she passed. And she lived a very active lifestyle still. She was still out here dipping it and doing it. So but there were still limitations that she went through. So I really feel like this is something that you should take your time with and really just grow with it. And I feel like this is something that you can do, and you seem like the type of person that really is taking a lot into consideration. So I really appreciate you. And again, we appreciate you for writing in, and we wish you the best. So let us know how it's going and reach back out to us and definitely write back into us.
Absolutely. And I would add one last thing is instincts are something we don't give enough credence to at times. We don't, especially as men. And if your instincts are telling you that's why if you don't feel right about something, about a relationship, you made the right decision to move forward. And if that means leaving somebody behind for now, a time, for a season, or forever, that's your choice that you get to take care of your own solidarity and your health. And I love that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah. Let's give some more advice. Which is the one that you wanted to go for? Because I had them all up here, but I didn't put them in order.
Me either.
Okay. And I'm just realizing I never did that.
Yeah. How to enjoy hookups. What about that one? That one's fun.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want me to read it?
Yes. Thank you. Sorry.
It's all good. I can read still. So how to enjoy hookups? I'm very weird when it comes to casual sex, and that I like to get a drink or something before sex. I consider it a part of foreplay. I love the conversations, the flirting, and the build-up. They have a very high self-drive. This is coming from Reddit, by the way. But without meeting beforehand, they don't really enjoy sex and generally find that they rather stay home and have a wank, which they must be from the UK because this is something.
Yes.
They recognize that they might be in the wrong here and very much in the minority, but almost every man they talk to doesn't want to meet at first, and they totally get this. They would like to know what can they do to condition themselves to enjoy more casual sex and not need to meet at first. What do you say to this, Steve?
So I love that because that's so me too. In that when I would meet people, this is why get out there more. Use the apps as a tool and put it on your profile. High alert, must meet in person on there. But then, since you already like to meet people in person, start going out, finding those groups, make yourself, even if it's a prototype of yourself, a social butterfly where you start to just go out and play with style. I mean, we love it when we have Jeremy Russ Lopez and we talk about style. Redoing my apartment recently, I realized all of the former styles that I had, and I was like, oh, this number. And I was starting to play with former stuff. When you put on an outfit, and it doesn't matter if a piece is from Old Navy and a jewelry piece is from the Goodwill, you can put together a look, do your hair, go to the barber and get like a sweet cut.
Yeah.
Make yourself look like you want and go out and meet and just start. I guarantee you, start saying something to a stranger, start just putting it out there. You will start to attract people your way, and you will become less reliant on the apps, and you will start to put it out there more, and you will see that when you do, you will bring people home after you've had a conversation, after you've had a cocktail, and you will have that little sweet spot that you're talking about. And I get it. I always had better sex with people when I had even a date with somebody and flirted and did my whole thing, and then we came back and had really hot sex.
I hear that. And you know what? I acknowledge that. That's beautiful advice. If you were hooking up on the apps, do like I do. Talk them to death, okay?
Yep.
And you know what? Maybe you don't have to change. This is something that if it might be a prerequisite for you. So when you are hooking up with people. So if you feel like you need to get to know somebody beforehand, then get to know somebody beforehand. Anybody that doesn't want to do that, then you can't fuck them. So just get into that habit, get into acknowledging that the people that aren't willing to do this for you are not worthy of your time, because this is something that's valid for you as a human being and for your sexual health and well-being, that you can ask of yourself and of this other person. So I think that more often than not, you will find that people are more willing to acquiesce when it comes to this.
Yeah, and I feel like this person doesn't have a problem with talking to people and going out. So they already have the advantage of, oh, I'm not a wallflower. I'm comfortable going out. I'm comfortable putting myself out there. So you already come from an advantage of talking extrovert wise out there, putting yourself out there. Use those traits that you have. I mean, I used to think, and I told myself that storyline that I was shy and, ooh, I can't talk to anybody. But I was a performer and knew I could perform.
Yeah.
So I somehow merged my performance side and realizing that people said, oh, you have a really good voice. And I started, you just merge the tools that you have,
because it's a part of you.
It's a part of me.
Exactly. So why not utilize all equal parts of yourself? Because you know what? You have access to everything. You're a performer. Maybe some other people may not be performers, but they are able to access different sides of themselves when they are out in the world. Maybe in their job, they're a little bit more extroverted. That's a part of you at the end of the day. So you have access to that no matter what. So
use what you got
to get what you want.
Okay. I think it's time for, and it's back, y'all. I put it in the comments section for those of you watching live. What are we talking about? We're talking about straight up gay porn's thirst trap. It's the first of the year, y'all, and we're back, and it's Thirst Trap Recap by Straight Up Gay Porn. And they're asking the question, which of these 22 gay porn stars took the best photo of the week? It's our job on an audio podcast, because that's typically how this show drops. I will post this on our Patreon community. Go to patreon.com/tags podcast to see what we're talking about. So you can vote too, but it's our job to vividly describe who we chose and why. Who did you choose and why?
All
Kodi.
right. I might get red for this, but I don't care. This is my porn.
An audience
crush.
vote. Yeah.
audience, please vote in the comments, and also vote on Straight Up Gay Porn, because you know all of this goes to the. I told you about it. The end of the year recap at the end of the year.
You.
So yes. So my vote.
You, Mr. Host.
You know I do it sometimes. So my vote goes to, and I cannot see this man and not vote for him. He's my porn crush. He did call me sexy. Okay, I commented on one of his pictures, and he said, "Thank you, sexy." And I said, "This is my man now. My man. It's River North and Corey Bradshaw.
Carrie, Corey.
They are taking
Not
a mirror.
Corey Bradshaw.
Like, oh my God, I just realized. That's so funny.
Come on now.
It took me a second. Sometimes I'm a little slow. So there are like what appears to be a log cabin, but I don't care. And they're taking a mirror selfie. They're both actually completely naked. Looks like they just had.
You know what they look like? They look like they're in one of those
scary movies. Cabin in the Woods.
Kind of like it's really bad. It's really bad.
But it's daytime. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I don't care. The mattress on the floor, so you know the sex is good, and I'm in love with this man. His ass is fantastic, and he gets my vote for the week. What about you, boo? Who'd you vote for?
There are some. We're off to a good start. I have to say.
Week, right?
I am between Mark and Wolf, and I am between Dio Ferrero.
It's good to be in between them too. Basically.
And I'm going to go with Dio because it's still that beginning of the year time, and I'm working on my body. And even though Diego tells me, like, because I hurt my back the other day, and he's like, stop doing that. And I don't listen, and I go and I keep pushing it. But he's giving body in every single way. Chiseled looks. He's got like that, you know, sculpted look that we all love. It's those abs though, and I've been eating like
all this a little more. You see the dick?
Damn, the dick is nice too. Good. Yeah, soft and nice and beautiful, and I love the hair. I haven't shaved in a while, so I'm loving that. So Dio Ferrero gets my vote. In fact, I'm going to vote right now, y'all. What are people saying? Who are people voting for? Diego, who are you voting for?
I like. Shout out to Ezra Scott too, because that ass is delicious.
Who?
Ali Rush.
Oh,
it's so sexy.
Okay, Diego's voting for Ali. Why do you like Ali?
And Keegan Wicker, he's in number one actually. Keegan Wicker is so hot too. So he's definitely very yummy. Let's see. Doug votes for Tyler Jones. He said he has a soft spot, or should he say a hard spot for cute nerds. I love that. Thank you very much. And James is voting for Jay Moley. So, yeah.
I love it. You can continue to vote. We'll post this on our Patreon community. Go to patreon.com/tags podcast. Follow my co-host, Kodi Maurice. He has a brand new EP called Thing of Beauty out wherever you get your music. Search for Kodi Maurice. Follow him on Blue Sky and on Instagram at Mr. Maurice. Follow me on the gram. I am _Steve V. And in the meantime, continue having hot gay sex. Thanks, guys.